and through his vast influence, it has ultimately touched us as well. Ben Franklin's older brother, James, was a printer and publisher of the New England Courant. James went after Mather on many issues, most stridently after a 1721 smallpox epidemic. Mather was promoting the unheard-of practice of inoculation, which he'd learned from his African servant. The idea of averting disease by subjecting yourself to it was a very hard sell in those days. Ben had served as James' apprentice during those years. Then, at 17, he found work as a journeyman printer in Philadelphia. He's been associated with that city ever since. After a year, he returned to Boston for a visit, and the first thing he did was a surprise. He went to visit Cotton Mather. Mather made no mention of the earlier attacks by James, and he received Ben graciously. Historian I.B. Cohen tells how as Franklin was leaving, Mather shouted at him, "Stoop! Stoop!" Too late. Franklin struck his head on the low door jamb, and Mather intoned, "You are young and have the world before you. Stoop as you go through it, and you will miss many hard thumps." Franklin did not miss the point. Later he said, "I often think of Mather's words when I see pride mortified and misfortunes brought upon people by their carrying their heads too high." The clergyman Mather also influenced Franklin the scientist. He wrote about spontaneous hybridization in plants. He wrote a treatise on medicine. Mather was an empiricist who called the incomparable Sir Isaac Newton his guide in science. And so young Ben Franklin worked out his ethics by turning Mather's advice into the more compact and secular language of Poor Richard's Almanac. In an exhortation on service to the kingdom of God, Mather had said that it means redressing the miseries under which mankind is languishing. Poor Richard summarized that one in the words, "Serving God is doing good to man, but praying is thought an easier service and therefore more generally chosen." But Franklin didn't just preach. He followed Mather's advice, and he acted as well. In 1751, a Dr. Thomas Bond said that Philadelphia needed a hospital. Now that was radical. The colonies had never seen a hospital. Franklin combined his skill as a printer, his passion as a social activist, and the guile of a superb fundraiser. He gave America its first hospital. There's a wonderful lesson here. Franklin and Mather were stereotypical opposites, yet the best of each is woven through America. They are a wonderful reminder that we all need to keep weighing, sifting, and reassessing our own indignations. I'm John Leonhardt at the University of Houston, where we are interested in the way inventive minds work.
A transcript of this Engines of Our Ingenuity episode number 1611 is online at uh.edu/engines. Additional episodes are available by podcast.
Support for Houston Public Media comes from Miller Outdoor Theater, a Houston venue for arts and cultural programming. Music, theater, dance, and more are scheduled throughout the season. Details are available at milleroutdoortheater.com.
From the ocean floor to the edge of the universe, PBS Science and Nature documentaries are here. Stream anytime on HPM Plus. Search HPM Plus on your smart and connected TVs.
Hi, I'm John Donvan, host of Open to Debate, where we bring you open-minded discussions and debates about the issues affecting our lives. Everything from science and tech to politics, culture, and foreign policy. In our divided nation, we feel it's more important than ever for people to be open-minded, open to disagreement, and open to listening to the other side. Join me in being open to debate.
Sunday night at 10 p.m. on News 88.7.
I'm Linda Kenyon with these headlines. Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels say they fired missiles and drones at Saudi Arabia in response to Saudi airstrikes on Yemen's city of Hodeidah in the Red Sea. This escalation comes as the United States and Iran vie for control of the Strait of Hormuz. The Federal Reserve's Open Market Committee meets Tuesday and Wednesday this week. It's the second meeting since Kevin Warsh became the new chairman. The Fed will determine whether to adjust interest rates amid inflationary pressures during the war against Iran. Firefighters are working to suppress and contain 88 large wildfires across the country, including large incidents reported since yesterday.
Support for NPR editing family stories by home movies and slides. Revisit and share generation.com. Progressive insurance drivers customize their home insurance in one buttons at .com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
This is Weekend Edition from News. I'm Rosso. When Walt Manigan, a former boxing talent, returns to his Washington, D.C. neighborhood after years in prison, the odds are already stacked against the center.
You ain't gonna find.
That's the heart of a movie based on a true story of a former convict who turns like a young boy. His fight is directed by Candace, who also co-wrote the script, and he joins us now. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Aisha Roscoe.
Tell us more about Walt and how he ends up in this boxing gym where the young boys are training. He's resistant to getting involved at first.
You know, I always refer to Walt Manigan, played by the phenomenal Andre Holland, as a man reclaiming his soul. And, you know, this is based off of a documentary. Walt Manigan lived and walked this earth, and he meant something to these kids in Southeast D.C. in this rec center. So with the movie, I was inspired by their lives, by Walt, by Peanut, by Quincy, by Keita, by Wop Wop. And Andre just does a really wonderful job of, he's re-entering society, but he needs help. I always say, once you believe in yourself, you still need the belief of others. And that comes through the form of Slim, played by Wendell Pierce. It's a really great story of redemption.
Well, Slim, he really does push him and guide him. He's the one who is, guiding this rec center. Why does Slim want to give Walt a chance?
I think at the core of the movie,